In this video, I'm going to tell you why you are struggling to do the hard thing. I'm going to tell you why you're self-sabotaging, how you're going to stop self-sabotaging and actually take action towards the thing that you say you want. And I'm going to explain why we procrastinate. Set these goals, whether it's your dream body, your business, maybe you want to ask for a promotion at work, maybe you want a relationship. And we set these goals for ourselves, but then when it comes to actually taking the action that we know will move ourselves forward, we find ourselves feeling stuck or saying we don't know what to do, or something happens so that we can't move forward. There's all these like other outside circumstances. This is just your way of self-sabotaging, and it is a way of your mind trying to keep you safe. So I'm going to explain why it happens, but also what you can actually do to tackle this so you can actually start moving forward and achieving your goals, having all of your goals and dreams come true, having your desires manifest for you. So I want to explain. I have researched this topic of manifestation, mindset, goals, success, basically how to achieve all of your dreams and all of your desires. Because I truly believe deep down, I know that we can have everything we want. I know I can have the dream body, the dream house, the best relationship. I can be the best parent. I can travel the world and make all the money and have my own dream business. I don't believe we would be put on this earth. I don't believe we would even be here if it wasn't possible to actually have these things that we say we want. And I believe, and I know deep down that we have those goals and dreams for a reason, and it's because they are destined for us. It's just our mind that holds us back. And so I have been researching this topic of like manifestation and strategy and goals and money for the last like 8 years. I have read over 75 personal development books. I have paid for hundreds of courses. I've spent thousands of pounds on coaching one-on-one, on training courses. I like buy all the courses, do all the masterclasses you see online. I love to research. And for me, it's super important to understand the science behind why it is we do what we do. And I really need to understand the strategy. I do love a little bit of the woo woo, but for me, it's really important that there is evidence backing up what these people are saying. When they're saying, do this thing to manifest this thing, I want to know, okay, why? Why is that thing going to work? So trust me when I tell you that I have researched this stuff in depth so you don't have to. And so I want to talk you through the process of what happens in this whole thing when we set a goal. You might be thinking of a monetary goal, it might be a business goal, it might be even starting a business and you can't seem to find yourself or make yourself take that first step because you've got fear holding you back, doubt holding you back, imposter syndrome, you name it. Whatever the reason is, there is a root cause. So you might be thinking, yeah, this isn't relevant to me, Emma, because I'm not afraid of failure. It's not about that. It's not about the reason why you're not doing it. Everyone's going to have their own reason that is legitimate. That is your personal reason for not going after your desire and for the reason why you're procrastinating. What I'm going to talk to you about is the cause because that's all that really matters here. Because then it doesn't matter what comes up, you're going to know how to deal with the root cause. So, first of all, I want to just explain how the mind works. You have two parts of the mind. You have the conscious and you have the unconscious, also called the subconscious. Now, our conscious mind is the part that does all the logical thinking. It's how we make logical decisions. It's probably where you're goal setting from. And a great example is when you're learning to drive a car. So when you're first learning to drive a car, you're using that conscious part of your brain. You're thinking as you're driving, okay, I need to go into gear. I need to check my mirrors. And you are thinking constantly as you do it, right? You're using your conscious mind. Then, once you have learnt this and it becomes easy and it becomes second nature, it's because it has gone into, through repetition, into your subconscious. And now you might find yourself driving from A to B and you're like, wait, how did I get here? And you suddenly can't recall the journey. And it's because you're now driving subconsciously. Now you can listen to music while you drive. You can hold a conversation while you drive. You can deal with the kids in the back because you don't have to think about changing gears and checking your mirrors because you're doing this unconsciously because that habit now is within your subconscious. Now, between the ages of 0 and 7, you are basically a walking subconscious mind because you don't know anything yet. Okay. So you need your parents, your guardians, people of importance, people of influence within your life. So this could be your teachers, older siblings, aunties, uncles. They are teaching you how to survive. And so it's super important that you take what they say as fact because it's what's going to keep you alive. So when your parent says to you, don't touch the oven, it's hot. Okay, understood, the oven is hot. Fact. That now goes into your subconscious. And that is something you will carry with you for the rest of your life. And it's super important that we form this subconscious, that we form these habits, that we form these beliefs and understandings between those ages, because that's how we're going to survive when we become independent. So from roughly the age of 7, there's science and there's evidence to say that it could be a little bit later on, but let's use the age of 7. From then on, these become your thoughts, your beliefs, your values, your habits, the things that you believe to be true, and they are set. Now we can change that, and I will explain that in a second. So let's say we're talking about your body. Your parents might say to you, oh, we really struggle in our family to lose weight, or eating chocolate makes you fat. They might also say things around money, and they might say rich people are greedy. It's hard for us to make money. You have to work really, really hard to have anything in this life. People like us just don't make a lot of money. You can have literally beliefs around anything. Now, I want you to just have a think about that. And you might be nodding, going, well, yeah, well, that is true, Emma. Rich people are greedy. Okay, but is that fact? Or is that a belief? And you might be thinking, well, Emma, yes, chocolate does make you fat. Is that true? Or is it an excess of eating too many calories can make you gain weight? It's not the chocolate. I eat chocolate every day and yet I've lost weight because it is not the chocolate that makes me fat. Just like it is not the money that makes you greedy. You could already be a greedy, not very nice person before money even factors into it. I believe money makes you more of who you are. So, isn't it interesting that these things that we're being taught between the ages of 0 and 7 can become our belief systems that we carry through into adult life? So then as an adult, you have these beliefs around our body, around what it means to be worthy of something, about what money can make us be. So you have these beliefs. And then what happens now that we're older, we now have this conscious mind. So now with this conscious mind, we're thinking, wait a minute, I would like to make more money. I would like to have a bigger house. I would like to be able to give back to charity. I would love to be able to pay off my debt and go on holiday more than once a year. So now we set these goals and we think, great, I'm going to make more money. But what happens is we set this goal and then our subconscious is going, no, 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 no. We can't make more money because rich people are greedy. And all our subconscious mind is trying to do is keep us safe. That's the whole point of the subconscious mind. That's why it's like, no, don't touch that fire. It's hot because it's keeping you alive. When you go to cross the street and it's looking both ways, that's your subconscious mind because it's going, wait, 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 there could be a car coming. So these things are super important to keep us alive. However, when it comes to things that could genuinely improve our life, like eating healthier, maybe it doesn't mean losing some weight because it means that you're able to like run after your children or have more energy. Maybe it is making more money because you do have debt to pay off, because your parents need help paying off their mortgage, whatever it might be. These things we know will definitely improve our lives, but we find ourselves procrastinating and holding back. 95% of our reality is created by our subconscious mind. So why is it that we are trying to force and hustle and push through with only 5% of our conscious mind? It's not enough to just set the goal and say, I'm going to go after it. It's not enough to rely on willpower alone when like 95% of our reality is created by the subconscious, the part that was developed the most between the ages of 0 and 7. So does it not make more sense for us to rewire and reprogram the 95% versus trying to push through and force and hustle with the 5%? And I think this is such, if you're still not on the same page with me, you're like, no, 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 Emma, like it is literally, it's hard work and hustle. I want you to have a think about every single New Year's resolution you've set yourself. And I want you to be really, really honest with how many of those have you actually stuck to? Really, genuinely, is there anybody, tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, who has actually stuck to a New Year's resolution? And it's because you're burnt out of willpower. You're literally burnt out because you are fighting against 95% of your programming. And because your subconscious is here to keep you safe, and it doesn't know what it feels like to be rich, it doesn't know what it feels like to be that smaller weight or that smaller size, it doesn't know what it feels like to be in a safe, loving relationship, it's going to go, that's unknown, that's unsafe, and there's no way I'm going to let you go there because it could be really, uncomfortable and really damaging. Or yes, you want to earn more money, but that requires you to get out of your comfort zone, Emma. That's scary. We're not going to do that. We're not going to go live on our Instagram. We're not going to make a YouTube channel. That is scary. And that is unknown, and that could be dangerous. So I'm going to procrastinate. We're going to do all these other things that keep you safe in this little bubble, in your little comfort zone. And like, yes, you might be in extreme debt. Yes, you might be really unhappy in your body right now, but this is a known fear. And we are comfortable here. That is an unknown situation, which could mean death. And so it's not going to go after that thing. How do we tackle this? You're thinking, okay, cool, great, Emma, I get it. I know why I'm self-sabotaging. I understand the science behind it. I understand what my mind is doing. I need to reprogram my subconscious mind in order to get both my conscious, so my goals in my conscious mind and my beliefs in my subconscious mind, they need to be in alignment. They need to be in agreement with, yep, okay, cool, I get it. We want to make £10,000 a month. We want to do it with our own business. We want to go after our goals. We want to have our dream body. We want to feel slim and healthier and happier. We want to fuel our bodies. Got it, got the goals. And now we're going to get our beliefs in alignment with that to be like, yeah, okay, got you. It is safe. I trust you. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to be a better person. It is going to improve my life. Yes, it's going to be a bit scary, but I've got this. I'm safe. I'm not going to die, right? I'm going to give you 4 steps to show you how you're going to get that into alignment. First of all, we're going to work out your why. We're going to know that it feels tough. We're going to find evidence to support your new belief system, and we're going to rewire your mind with some tools. So get your notebook ready. I want you to write these down. First of all, I want you to know why you're doing this. What is it that's going to motivate you when you're struggling? What is it that's going to push you forward when you feel like you can't keep going? You've got to find that deep why. If you don't know how to do this, there's a really good book. I'm going to forget what it's called. If I can remember, I will put it in the notes, but it's about like finding your why, and you have to ask yourself 7 times. And it's because often the first reason you're doing this could be quite superficial. So why do you want to lose 3 stone? Because I want to look better. Okay, well, why do you want to look better? Well, because then I'll have more confidence. Okay, well, why do you want to have more confidence? So then I feel more like me and I can show up more authentically on my social media and in my business and with my relationship. Okay, and why is it important for you to feel authentic and show up authentically and feel like yourself? And then just keep asking, keep going deeper and deeper. It's going to feel uncomfortable. That's the thing with this work, guys, which leads me perfectly onto the second thing, which is you have to know that this is going to be difficult. There is a reason why only X amount, I can't remember the percentage of people, have most of the money in the world. There's a reason why only X amount of people experience success and business success. There's a reason why so many businesses fail in the first 5 years. This shit is uncomfortable. But the minute you kind of like deal with that and you're like, okay, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be hard, and you kind of like come to terms with that, you're going to be okay when stuff feels difficult, right? We can't expect life to always just be good and be getting better and to never experience hardship and to never go through tough times. Else your life will just be like this and it'll be boring. It is the law of polarity. If you want to know this kind of stuff in more detail, tell me, but I don't know if you need it. But there is this law in the universal laws called polarity. And in order to experience the high of how good life can be, we have to also experience the low because we have to know the opposite in order to experience the high. And so, yes, life will look like this. But oh my goodness, do the highs feel so fucking amazing that I promise you it is worth it. And the best example I can give along this, and maybe you have your own example, is giving birth. So I had my son Oscar, and I remember being terrified when I was pregnant. I was terrified of giving birth. Like, I remember my waters broke and I was shaking like a leaf. And I turned to my husband and I was like, I can't do this. Do you know what I was scared of? The unknown. I didn't know what to expect. And so my subconscious was like, this could mean death. I didn't know anybody that was pregnant. I didn't have any friends that had children. So I had very little evidence around me, which we'll move on into the next one. And I knew it was going to be uncomfortable. I knew it was going to be painful. And then I had my son. And now in hindsight, I know that some of the most difficult moments in my life create the most magical things. If it wasn't for those horrendous 2 days, bearing in mind I did all this without meds, then I wouldn't have Oscar. And I now know what I am capable of. I am capable of some really, really difficult, really, really hard things. Now, I had no choice in that matter, but it taught me a lesson that I can choose to take away from this. If I'm thinking of starting a business, I know it's going to be difficult, but now I know that those difficult things will often, 90% of the time, lead to something truly magical. And I'm talking about difficult situations that you're choosing to put yourself in. I'm not talking about difficult situations that you have had no control over. That is, trauma, something very different. What I'm talking about is I've decided to start a business. I decided to have a baby. I decided to start a YouTube channel. I know these things are going to be difficult in the moment. I'm not going to want to do it. My subconscious is going to be screaming at me, going, this is unsafe. What if you get hate comments on your YouTube? What if no one watches? What if you're shit at it and you're umming and ahhing and stuttering? Okay, probably all those things are going to happen. Yep. Okay. And when you can get your mind on board with this and almost look at, okay, what is the worst case scenario? Let's look at it. Let's deal with it. Because when I was pregnant and I knew I was going to give birth, I knew it was going to hurt. I knew that. So then you can almost get your mind on board with it. Okay, it's going to hurt. So how can I prepare myself for this? So if you know there's a likelihood that you might get some negative comments, how can you deal with that? I'm going to give you some tools on how you can regulate your nervous system so that your body doesn't feel like it's dying in that moment and you can handle it better. But also, I think just knowing and being like, okay, what's the worst case scenario? Let me look at this. I think the most interesting one is starting a business because so many people say, like, okay, what if it doesn't work out? What if I fail? What if nobody buys from me? Okay, worst case scenario is you tried and you end up back in the same position you were before you tried. You go back to your 9 to 5, you're back where you were before, just working your job with no other way out. So literally your worst case scenario is your current life. So isn't it worth going? And when you almost like have this conversation with yourself, you can do this journaling. You might want to voice note yourself, voice note a friend. However it is you want to do this, you're almost like talking to your subconscious, to that little 7-year-old within you, being like, okay, let's talk this out. Let's look at this logically. What is the worst case scenario? Okay, sure, it might be uncomfortable. Sure, some people might judge me. Okay, but am I dying? No. Are there other people that have done this and had success? Yes. And that leads me on to evidence. So now you're going to find evidence to support your new belief system. But like, okay, I no longer want to believe this, that I'm going to fuck this up so badly. Everyone's going to hate me. I'm no good at this. I'm not the right person for this. And we're going to start to surround ourselves with evidence that supports our new belief, that supports our goals. How can you find people that have been through what you've been through and are now out the other side? Again, if we come back to like my fitness journey, it's maybe looking at other people that have been through the kind of eating disorders that I've had and how they've come out the other side. It might be finding them on social media. If we think about the giving birth, I did a lot of research around like how to breathe through it, how to, I did hypnobirthing. I read other people's birth stories to really support evidence that's like, oh, okay, so she did it and she's okay. And this is how she handled that situation. And I like educated myself. If I'm talking about changing my mindset around something, it might be thinking about my conversations with friends and family. And if they don't have the same belief system, I might just say, oh, you know what, I really don't believe that. And maybe I change the subject or maybe I leave the conversation at that point. If I don't believe rich people are greedy, I'm not going to get myself involved in that conversation if my friends are having that discussion about how awful rich people are, because I don't want to strengthen that belief. I want to also then speak to other people that don't believe that. Maybe I want to find rich people who I believe are good and are doing good things with their money and helping and giving back with their money. So I start to strengthen this belief of actually money is good. Money is being able to help other people. Money enables me to be calmer and pay for all the bills and take my son to all these different places in the world. So how can I start to strengthen that belief system? And that's by finding evidence. And then finally, you want to start rewiring your belief. Now, getting evidence and all the things that I've spoken about is already starting to rewire your belief. And what it takes for your subconscious to take something on board is repetition. Your mind loves repetition. So things like sleeping to subliminals, doing affirmations, catching yourself when you're in this spiral and being like, wait a minute, is this serving me? Like, is this beating myself up and saying, I'm not good enough, you're not as good as her, comparing yourself, judging yourself? Catch yourself in that moment and decide, okay, is this benefiting me right now? Or is there a way I can switch my mindset? Could I listen to a podcast? Could I watch a YouTube video like this? Could I take action? Because one of the things, especially around evidence, actually, is when we start to do the thing that's so uncomfortable, you're going to start giving your mind evidence that it's not unsafe. You're going to do the YouTube, you're going to put it up and be like, okay, that wasn't so bad. Okay, I can do better next time. You might get one negative comment and you're able to delete it and move on. Maybe you have a bit of a cry, but you're not in danger. And you're like, okay, I handled it. So the more you do it, the more your evidence you're going to give your subconscious of, wait, actually, I can do this. And then you might get some success. And then you might get a positive comment. And you're like, oh my gosh, I helped somebody. I helped one person with that video. So you're going to start to build on that. But whilst you're building that evidence, you're starting to now rewire because now your subconscious is like, wait a minute, that wasn't so scary. Oh, okay. And then these things start to become within your comfort zone. So now doing the YouTube video starts to be within my comfort zone. Okay, so what's now out of my comfort zone that I need to do? Going live on social media. Maybe it's in speaking in front of an audience on stage. And now we can grow our comfort zone. But now we're going to expand our room for discomfort. And we're also going to expand our room for receiving and having success. And some other ways that you can reprogram: EFT tapping, one of my all-time favorite ways to rewire your mind. I love the science behind it and I love the evidence behind it. They did a load of research around soldiers that had PTSD and they had them do tapping, and the results were astounding. I will be doing some more videos where I will run you through some tapping sequences. So let me know if you want those, and let me know what you're struggling with. What is it you have fear around? Where is it you're procrastinating? Is it with your body, with your business, with making more money, with whatever it is? Let me know and I'll do some tapping around it. And I'll also teach you how I create tapping scripts with AI. So let me know if you want those videos. And things like breath work, meditation, mirror work. There's literally so many. If you just like Google, go into ChatGPT, like how can I rewire my mind? There's also a bunch of science that teaches you why you're able to rewire your mind, because you might think that's set in stone. That belief, there's no way I'm budging that belief. It's set in stone. There was some science with Dr. Joe Dispenza where they saw that your brain has like neuroplasticity, which basically means that you can change your belief system. You can rewire and change your mind no matter how old you are, no matter how deep the belief is. So I hope this helps. I hope you've taken something away from it. I know it's a lot of information to digest, but I just want you to focus on setting that goal of what it is that you want, deciding why you want it and getting really clear on that why. Find evidence to support this desire and this new belief system that you want to have, and know that it's going to be a little bit tricky and that's okay. But just knowing that it's going to be difficult and preparing yourself for that. And then use one of the tools to start rewiring. Everybody has their preferences, but just for now, pick one and then try it. Do a little challenge and say, fine, Emma, I'm going to tap every day for 2 weeks, and then come back to me and tell me how much your life has changed. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you being here. And yeah, I'm just super excited to see what you create. Till next time.